Hello everyone, hello, welcome back. We'll be continuing our study of Python. Remember, this is the book I recommend, Introduction of Python Programming. The reason I recommend this book is not necessarily that it's the best book. I'm not of the opinion that there is such thing. Excuse me. There's no such thing as the best book, only the best for a given situation. And since I assume that both anyone who's learning from my videos, they're not enrolled in like a class or something. So I imagine you don't want to pay for a textbook. So this is a open source textbook by Rice University. And remember, you can view the textbook online, or you can do what I did and download a PDF. See, I'm on page 140. I'll go to page 1 just to show you. I'm on page 1. There you go. I'm on the actual textbook. So let's go back to page 140. Oh, my number lock is off. Okay. And last time we covered a while loop. So, and we've also previously done the if statement. Now we're gonna run a while loop within a while loop. And remember, the while loop is similar to an if statement in which there's a decision that has to be made here. And the while statement itself, while I is less than or equal to 5 here, well, that means that it has to be choosing, is it true or not? So let's go ahead and go over this code. Let me, okay. So we have a nested while loop. So it says we're starting out the code with I equals 1. So let me open up VS Code. VS Code is an open source software. You can get it straight from here, VS Code. See, open source AI. So I downloaded it for Linux since I'm running it on my Zorin OS. Remember, I'm not on Windows or anything. See, I have right here is my information. I'm on Zorin OS 18.1 with the Linux kernel 7.0.3. Does that affect anything? Perhaps. Is the most up-to-date Linux kernel is good to have because it allows the kernel to have the most updated hardware support. That's mainly what I use it for. I don't need all the additional fancy features that come with it, like encryption and all that stuff. Um, yeah, I don't do none of that. I just want the best performance out of this laptop. Okay, so since this is a Zorin distribution, Zorin is based on Ubuntu. So then, and Ubuntu itself is based on Debian. So I grabbed the the Debian. Here, I'll show you the OS I'm using here, Zorin OS. You can just click download Zorin. And I myself, I purchased the Pro. Why did I purchase the Pro? Honestly, I did it so I can have the layouts, the premium layouts, and to get the support for the developers. No, and yeah, I like the work that they do. So you can download a version without the Pro that's free of charge. Okay, so this is an Ubuntu distribution. We can check through the command line. Now we could run an update as you do at update, and you'll see that apt is the update manager, is the package manager, and apt is the package manager for Debian. Apt upgrade. Because if I try to run as you do Pacman SYU, like I do on my Catchy OS, I have another older laptop. I'm running Catchy on it. It updates with Pacman. See, it doesn't do Pacman. It doesn't do Paru. It doesn't even do PEMAC. PEMAC. Okay, so this is run Debian. Now, after you install it, if you choose to install it, I like to run the code on my desktop for reduced latency. However, if you just want to follow online, remember there's always online Python. And I like to click try new IDE because it follows similar formatting to mine. It's a dark format. Here. It doesn't like that I'm running ad blocker. In my previous video, I gave an explanation of why I run ad blockers. So let's go ahead and try run the code here on the, and let me make sure that we can see both of them at the same time. We have, first, let's start with good comment etiquette. We give comments, so this code will run a while loop within a while loop. So I equals 1. We're initiating the variable y and setting it as 1. And then we're going to give it the conditional check while I is less than or equal to 5. Well, less than or equal to 5. Colon, because this is Python. Python, we need colons. So j equals 1 while I plus j is less than or equal to 5, colon. We're going to print the values for I and j. And then we're going to say j plus 1. We're going to set j, and we're going to add 1 and equal it to itself. That's what the plus equal means. We're saying add 1 to j and then set the j to that new value. Next, we're going to say I, well, lowercase I, plus equal 1. So after it runs this command, this loop, so as long as our I plus j is less than or equal to 5, as we iterate through j, we increase the values of j, so y1, so I1, 1 plus 1 equals 2, and then 1 plus 2 equals 3, 1 plus 3 equals 4, 1 plus 4 equals 5. And once we get to 5, it'll break out because it's no longer true, and it'll move on to the next part of the code, which is I plus 1. It'll go I plus 1, so it'll become 2 now, and then it'll come back to the top here, and then we set the j to 1 again, so we're at 2 for I, j at 1, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so we have less than or equal to 5, so we print those values, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and run this code. Now, this should give us 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and it shouldn't go any more than 4, because if we get to 5, 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 is bigger than 5. So the biggest addition we should get is 5. The biggest sum, I should say. Okay. So we should get all the way from 1 plus 1 to 1, all the way to 1, 1 plus 4. Then we get to 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. And we hit the limit because 5 is equal to 5. We can't go any further because 2 plus 4 is 6. And 6 is bigger than 5. So we'll break the loop. So we'll just do 2 plus 1, 2 plus 2, and 2 plus 3. And then we'll change the I value again, add 1, so it becomes 3. And then we start j again at 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. And that's it. Because 3 plus 3 is 6. And that's already bigger than 5. So we'll go 3, 1, and 3, 2. And that's about it. Nothing else. After that, we'll get... We'll iterate through the j's again, set it to 1. Our I becomes 4. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. And that's it. We stop at 4 plus 1. So we have the values 1, 1 all the way to 1, 4. And then 2, 1 all the way to 2, 3. And then 3, 1 and 3, 2. And then 4, 1. And no more. So that's 10 values. The answer to this question here. How many times does the print happen? Well, it's only going to print while it will print as long as we're inside this while loop, this second one. And this loop only runs as long as we're inside this while loop. Once we exit that loop, we're done. So let's see what happens when we run it. Oh, look at that. See, we have it here. Print 1, So 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 2 1, and 2 2 3, 3 1, 3 2, and 4 1. If we change this value to 6, let's say 6, that means we're allowing the sum to be 6. So we can get 2 plus 4, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 2, 1 plus 5. So we should get a 1 plus 5, 2 plus 4, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 2, and then 5 and 1. So we should get an extra 5 values. Yeah, there we go. 1 5, 2 4, 3 3, 4 2, and 5 1. Okay. So think of it like this. We have this loop right here. So first we enter our loop and we got 1 is less than or equal to 5. If that's true, we do all of this. So we set j equals 1, and after we do that, we enter this loop. And after we enter that second loop, we perform this as long as this condition is true. And then once we break out of that loop, we go to this last step, which is the first step, which is part of the first while loop right here. Like you can see, it's part of the first while loop. Okay. All right. So, as I said in the previous videos, I have there's some of that Costco green tea right here. Cause to keep my mouth from drying out. Now let me check the time. I don't want to go over the time. Cause then YouTube gets upset for going over the time. No, they don't appreciate going over the time. Now a for loop. Let me see the basics of a for loop. All right. So we have loops that is stop recording. Um, all right, I'll stop it here. It seems like my screen stopped recording.